absolutely. I appreciate the opportunity to connect.
Hey.
Talk to me about what you do, man.
Well, by the way, we're recording this, and everybody, this is the Legacy Show. It's a pre-show. I'm recording this for my post or past IBM TV network that we just changed to POD TV, 24 hours TV, and we have about 20 different shows on there. And I do a weed show. I work with Tommy Chong, and I get prisoners out of jail for life in prison for marijuana. And that's
Wow.
one of my main goals in my lifetime. I'm 63.
Wow.
And good morning, everybody. This is Jeff Eichen with the Legacy Show. And we're so blessed to have people coming from all over the globe. We got Josh here that I just met on a new platform called Clubhouse, and that's a fantastic networking spot. And I'm like the robot in Short Circuit, and he was reading the dictionary like this. He was a robot in this lady's house when he came over to the farm, and he was going, "Feed me, need more information, input, I need more input." And he became human, and it was just so cool. And that's what I'm doing now with Clubhouse and learning NFT space and wanting to monetize my own art. And I'm a black and white photographer, and I published my first book this
Wow.
year, self-published, and it's just it's an honor to do what I do,
Wow.
for throughout the years. But it sits in my book now. These photographs are from the 70s, and to express yourself and to be who you are, but also to publish and to share with people on the world. Tell us a little bit about yourself, what you're excited about. Give some anecdotes to boredom and keeping busy and health.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you something. My story is that I was an athlete growing up. Went to school on scholarship. My entire life was revolved around playing professional baseball. And long story short, suffered a rather near career-ending injury. I rehabbed, had a great last season playing college ball, but the reality was at that point in time, despite the fact I put incredible numbers up in that season, I was used goods at that point. And I went through a tough time, man. I went through a tough time because my passion and my purpose was stripped away from me. Didn't know what I was going to do. So I did what everybody said to do, which was just, finish school and get that good job and provide for your family. But the reality was I was living a life of sort of quiet desperation. I didn't have any purpose, passion. Fast forward, I had been able to develop some relationships with some incredible mentors. And that really
Mentors in sports.
in business.
Okay.
So yeah, I live here in the Silicon Valley in California, and
Is that Highway 18?
Highway 101 and then 280 are kind of the two highways that run north and
What's that
south.
little one that goes to Santa Cruz? That little one.
Highway 17.
17. Okay. Yeah.
Yes,
My
yes,
family
very,
used to live there. So
okay, very good.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
actually, it's right down the street from my office here.
In Ben Lomond, my family used to live in
Okay.
Ben Lomond.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's a beautiful area up there.
Yeah.
They've been hit pretty hard with
Fires.
some fires. Yeah. So it's
Tragedy.
pretty
Tragedy.
tragic. Yeah. And hopefully we can get this thing figured out in those areas because California and sort of the West Coast has just been ravaged by
Well,
that.
how do we seed the clouds and make rain? I mean, for God's sakes, the Elon's going to Mars. Why don't we learn how to seed the clouds? The Native Americans have been doing rain dances forever, and they couldn't make it rain.
Right, right. What's interesting is I heard a varying perspective on that said, and I've got really no opinion because I'm just not educated enough on it, but they said, just because it rains more, what that can also do is create more vegetation.
More brush.
which ends up being more fuel to the fire during the summer.
Well, in Cali, they're supposed to, because my sister lives down in Montecito, and that's where they had the fires and then the mudslides. They're
Right.
supposed to plant ice plant.
Mm,
That
yeah.
ice plant is wet. It's
Right.
juicy. It
Right.
grows like a weed, like
Yes.
marijuana. But I mean, that's the ice plant is one of the saviors of I think Cali, and nobody's really getting it or going after that angle.
Yeah. It certainly is very popular on the coastal areas.
Right.
No doubt about
Right,
it.
it likes to be cold. Well, tell us more about your introduction and what took you from sports to being an entrepreneur.
Yeah, so I actually transitioned out of my baseball career. I started coaching Division I college baseball, and I just was ready for a change. And interestingly enough, I got into the golf business for 10 years, where I ran very high-end private country clubs here in the area. I tell people all the time I serviced some of the most influential people in our world that were members of mine, simply because of the proximity being in the Silicon Valley, and in that environment, they were naturally members of a club like that. And they never once gave me a dime of their money, but I worked for 10 years to learn everything they had between their ears. And what I used,
I mean, you wanted to be like Mikey.
that's right, that's right. So I had a unique ability to build those relationships because they had something I wanted, which was the knowledge, the how could I best explain it? The specific knowledge, right, that they used to get to where they were.
You mean
And
their
I had
formula,
some,
their formula,
yeah, just
their box, their Pandora's box.
exactly. I realized that the middle class, I came from a humble beginnings. So I realized I was taught a different story than they were taught. It was that specific knowledge about how to acquire what they had produced in their life, which is really a separator between growing up in sort of, we'll call it a middle class environment, or an environment where they taught their kids something totally different than what I was taught. Right. And I realized that. So interestingly enough, Jeff, I was able to do so they had something I wanted and I had something they wanted. I could get a little white ball around the golf course in a lot fewer strokes than they could. So they enjoyed having me on the golf course with them, which then enabled me to spend 4 to 5 hours riding side by side in a golf cart with some of the greatest minds in our country and in the world, really. And so I leveraged that relationship, which kept me on a bit of an even playing field, right? Mm-hmm. They were certainly much more successful, obviously, financially, business-wise. They were unbelievable. But I could do something that they'll likely never be able to do in their life, which was get that little white ball into the hole in a lot fewer strokes. And that relationship, that sort of dichotomy of a relationship got me to be able to spend time and learn and be taught. At 31 years old, I realized I needed to unlearn everything I'd ever been taught about making money.
Right.
Learn it from the people that had the life I wanted. And that was where mentorship,
It's also the law of attraction.
It's, without
Totally.
a doubt.
Totally.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I wanted that and therefore, attracted that.
So instead of hanging out at a restaurant or with hip hop or chasing baseball, which you were compromised physically, you went to, so for example, you can choose if you're a vegan or a meat eater and what restaurant you want to go to. You went to the Richie Riches and you learned what they had. Let me ask you a question about Richie Riches, people with money. How many of them had products that had integrity?
That's an really interesting question, because I saw a lot that from an integrity standpoint were not in alignment with my values.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah. And it wasn't necessarily the product, because of the nature of where we were located. We had sort of two groups of entrepreneurs. You had the tech entrepreneurs and you had the money entrepreneurs, right? From up the peninsula into San Francisco, et cetera.
Of course.
Um, but it was maybe it was either the things they did with the money, which some of them who were I had relationships with ended up running into legal trouble, or it was how they treated people.
So did that equal? Let me bring myself back in. Did that equal karma?
I think some would argue that could have been the case, no doubt about it.
I work on a spiritual base, I want to keep it high these days. My father was there. He went from Aston Martins to living in Mexico and dying with no money and happy.
Yeah. You know, that's interesting. That takes an interesting route, and um, through my journey, and now being in mentorship for of entrepreneurs getting started in the financial industry for 13 years, I stumbled upon something that was so profound in my life that changed my perspective on my purpose here on earth as it related to business, by a Jewish rabbi. Interestingly enough, Rabbi Daniel Lapin, who is to his words, right? That he says, I am a Jewish rabbi that travels around to Christian churches talking about why Christians are broke and Jews are rich. And that's,
Whoa.
yes. Now that's not my perspective. That's his wording of it. He actually has written several books, one of which was one that was so transformational to me, which is Thou Shalt Prosper, the 10 Commandments of Making Money, where he states that the reason of his travelings and communicating, the reason that is the case is because of the foundation. So this is what changed me. The foundation of what the ancient text describes as of the Torah, right? It describes as our purpose on earth, which is to serve our brothers and sisters. And he does just an incredible job of
And
talking.
to share.
Certainly, right? So to serve our brothers and sisters means to make their life better. And he said that business was created to make others' lives better. And when you make someone else's lives better, when you serve your brothers and sisters and you make their lives better, when it's in business, there's no surprise. There's a reward for that, in this case, in the form of money, so that money now just becomes a certificate of performance. Right? Have you served somebody? And if you've served somebody, then that money is a good thing. And so if you've got money in your pocket and you did not harm someone to receive that money, then you made their life better, in which case you are now, in his words, serving God.
So I have a term. I made a T-shirt. It says "Pray it forward." So that's praying it forward.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Right? Isn't that a great shirt?
It certainly is. And interestingly enough, he talks about a concept that we also naturally say, which is to give back. And he says, you'll never hear me ever say give back, because that in turn represents the fact that I took from somebody and now I must give back. Right? And I didn't take from them. I provided a service that made their life better. Therefore, I earned that money. And so that simple shift to go from giving back to making a contribution. I'm making a contribution, or I'm giving, but I'm not giving back, because that tells me subconsciously that I took from someone and harms people's money DNA, essentially.
So I'm a wordsmith. When did you actually enable this this paradigm or this model from 0 to 60K or 60 million? When did you what was the timeline, to give us a little bit of 101 for people out there that want to start to follow the rabbi?
Yeah, I think that I'm a self-development fanatic, right? I believe that our life success, whatever that is, for whatever's defined by you, our success in life will only grow to the level that we do. It will never outgrow the level that we do. And I believe that having a diverse sort of ability to have a diverse knowledge of development is important. I came across Rabbi Lappin's teachings about 8 years ago, and I did. It's spiritual, but it's not about the Jewish faith that he teaches from, right? It's about the concept of serving people. And because here's the reality of coming up in an environment that I was raised in, and most people statistically are raised in, is we're raised in an environment that programs our DNA about money in a way that's a hindrance to wealth accumulation. And we've all, the typical stereotypical, the rich are bad in this, and we can go down a laundry list of statements that we hear growing up in that environment. People that I work with and help transition into entrepreneurship.
How about the term conscious wealth?
Well, I think that is what we're talking about, really. Right. And but almost to the sense that conscious wealth is something that is today, right? Is created, a saying that's created today. But when I realized that this concept went way back from a historical standpoint.
If you look at Tevye, that he raised cows. They were worth, the more cows you had, the more you were.
Sure. In a bartering system, where you're trading.
Blah, blah, way back.
Yeah, I really believe that, we hear things like you can't, you don't chase you can't have the love of money. You're chasing money. No. See, all that to me is and semantics can get into it, how you say, listen, I throw all that out the window. I'm here to serve people. And when I serve people in business, there is an exchange for that. And if I am serving them, and the more people I serve, the more value we receive in the way of monetary in terms of business, and therefore is something to be celebrated, because it's the service to others that really is the foundation to which we've grown our business over the last eight years. As I had this profound shift in, am I chasing? How am I chasing? What am I chasing? How about, Josh, you focus on solving problems for others? And if we solve problems for others, then in return, we will receive these certificates of service, and our life will grow and improve as a result.
So everybody, we're on the Legacy Show with Jeff Eichen and POD TV, and we're going global very soon. We're recording with Josh today and Josh Payne, and we're getting a little backstory of going from baseball to wealth, abundance. I know Swami Beyondananda says, shake your buns and you'll have abundance.
There you go. There you go.
And so we keep laughter on my show. We keep laughter in our hearts. I mean, so much is serious these days, from masking to unmasking. Dating in COVID is not the most popular item these days. It's very difficult to get through all this stuff. What about the children? How can you share with us a little remedy for the children to get hope?
I think that you said a very important word there, hope, right? I think that the market will pay a fortune to anybody that can deliver two things: leadership and hope in today's world, coming out of the year we had last year. So I think that, I believe programming is everything. I have two children. I've got a 9-year-old and I've got a 7-year-old. Since the second they were born, we have been programming them with affirmations of abundance, and abundance in the sense of their perspective on what they can accomplish in the world, and the positive programming that is so important and so lacking in our country and in the world. And so do I think that that I can make a difference in the lives of children everywhere? Yes, there are many forms that I can do that. I can do
So,
that.
so you can see my cup. See what my cup says?
Yes, yes, yes.
You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Right.
because children, I heard when they're 8 years old, they hear no like 4 million times.
It's incredible.
Yeah,
And again, I've read the statistics on that, and it's a self autopsy on myself as a parent, right? Is
right, right.
make sure that I am holding myself accountable to that understanding that we've got to help them hear the word yes, because they're programmed to this limitation of that word no. And I want to help them have the abundance mindset of yes, you
Right.
can
We're
do it.
creating the children by, I heard that they stop, that their imprint is at 8, okay? And so you got till 8 years old to give them all those yeses so they can also grow up and give their kids yeses.
Yes, absolutely. And you know what, Jeff, this is interesting because in our affirmations, my 7-year-old son and my 9-year-old,
Can we give them names?
yes, Joshua, we call him JP2 because
Hi,
he's
JP2.
I
Hi,
was the
Josh.
last I was the last of the males in the family. And
JP2,
so
this is Jeffy Fresh, Uncle Jeff,
there you
and
go.
I'm a great uncle as of December, and so God bless
All
River,
right.
and welcome aboard. And so JP2 and
Kira.
Kira. Hello,
Yeah.
Kira. This is Jeff Eichen, Jeffy Fresh when I'm a DJ, so it's Uncle
Right.
Jeff to you, and blessings. I'm so glad I'm in your house.
Thank you. We had a talk about law of attraction. Three of the affirmations I've said since the second he came out of the womb were I'm a leader, I'm a role model, I'm an example, right? And I'm a great example. He got a progress report from his teacher. And I go through the progress report, but in the comments at the end, it was just like this reminder from universe, God, whatever is the leading force. The teacher said, Josh is a role model for the community, an incredible example for his classmates, and a leader in our school. He's in first grade. So the first three affirmations he's heard since he was an infant, the teacher writes in the notes and verbatim all
And you
three
didn't
of those
feed them
affirmations.
to her.
Absolutely not. I read that and I
that's
go, wow,
very,
is that just a reminder?
congratulations on that
Yeah,
one. Yeah.
yeah, pretty amazing. So, anyways, there's a lot that I have to improve at every day, but those little reminders along the way are what remind us. You know what, you might be doing a pretty good job.
Well, we're so blessed to have Josh on our show today. I'm going to let you get back to your day. And any final words for entrepreneurs seeking hope and from 0 to 60K in 60 seconds? Tell
Yeah,
us a little bit about it. I mean, I can tell you that my papa gave it all up, and we all have our first teachers. Our first relationship with a female is our mom, and our dads throw us the ball, out and tell us, how not to get beat up. My dad was an architect, and he built the Villa del Sol in Fullerton, California. He bought the California Hotel, and we flew to Mexico in a helicopter and brought back fountains, and it's still going today. My friend Paul has bought it, and they do weddings there, and it's an old California hotel that's now offices in a shopping mall, and there's restaurants and delis there and five-star Mexican restaurant. Anyways, bottom line is my papa gave it all up to move to Mexico to have his third relationship with a wife, and it was just brilliant. I traveled there 5 times in my motorhome from Seattle, Washington State, and with my partner, and we visited my papa, being happy and doing his architecture down there because they wouldn't approve of lightweight concrete in America the way that he could just do his exploration like his mentors. He went with his mentors, Buckminster Fuller.
Mhm. Wow, wow.
So if we leave everybody alone and we share a little bit of knowledge like Josh is giving us today, about how to be successful and not to be when I can't play baseball because my ankle is it never will be good again. He filled it in with meeting other people and studying the spirit of entrepreneurship. Final words.
Dream big. Dream big. Everything in life that's worth accomplishing starts with a dream. And dreams are free. And if dreams are free, you might as well dream big. That would be my final.
Well, I'm proud to have you on today, everybody. This is the Legacy Show on POD TV. Jeff Eichen and Josh Payne. We'll have more people coming in here and there. It's a wonderful space. How are you navigating and minimizing the suck-in on Clubhouse?
Yeah, I think that's what everybody's trying to figure out.
I'm going to get 5 people today and then move on with my day.
Yeah, there you go. You know what? That's great. I think having a specific goal of what the purpose is of being on there. I try and build relationships with people like yourself, Jeff, and be an ambassador of hope and of leadership for those that are seeking to improve their life. And just as one of the many people on there, one of those, that can be of service to those who resonate. And then aside from that, I don't get caught up on anything else. And I just use it as a tool to serve and keep charging.
Thank God for it. I mean, look, it brought us together. I mean, the angels brought us Clubhouse, and so everybody just like being hydrated all day long and eating cleaner food for the planet and yourself and watching your colon and, I mean, not looking at it, but, going for longevity. Take it from me. I'm 63, graduated high school in 76. How old were you then,
I was being born.
Yeah. And so I really blessed having people that have come across a success map,
Yeah.
Conscious wealth is, I think, what I got out of this conversation today. You sound great. I really appreciate meeting you and that the angels in Clubhouse brought us together.
Absolutely. It's been my pleasure, Jeff, and I look forward to continuing to build a relationship.
Okay, we'll do more, and thank you so much. We're out of here today, everybody, and we'll see you on my Weeds Day show with Tommy Chong periodically and other people. Nobody should be in jail for a plant and for nonviolence. Free the prisoners, free the plant, free yourself, and free the planet. So thank you, Josh, and we'll stay connected offline. Emails I got, and drop me your phone number, and I'd love to talk projects with you and see where we can cross-platform.
Let's do it.
Love you, man.
Cheers, Jeff.
Okay, bye-bye. Cheers. Okay, everybody. Jeff Eichen here with the Legacy Show, and that was really a beautiful rabbi show. And who knew we were going to get the Torah in here and to tell us how to create wealth and abundance. And so it was really fun to have Josh in today. I've got another interview this afternoon, and it's all coming from Clubhouse. So be careful how much time you spend in there. Don't forget hempcrete, and all the things that are going to make this world more precious and bring the oceans back and help the icebergs from stopping to melt. Whatever we can do is important. And Josh is bringing up some beautiful children with his knowledge of what works. And so that's what I want to show with my show Legacy is successful people. And they're non-successes and how they got out of that, how you bounce back in life. So it's my time to say good night, and Legacy, tell me your legacy. So you can find me on my link tree, and I'll put it right here on the post-production. Thank you so much, everybody. Cheers. Legacy, POD TV. I'm out.